would you like to just make the note of who's present?
Yes, well, all members of the commission are present, and William Chin and Jeff D'Onofrio.
Right. Jeff is the attorney representing Mr. Cinto. So I don't suspect to see him. He's got his meeting at 7:30 for the town council, and evidently Jim Nugent hasn't signed on. So let's just continue. The first order of business is the approving the minutes of August 17th, 2020. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes without reading. Is there a second?
So moved.
Is there any discussion? Feeling that? No discussions? All those in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimously? Charlie, thank you.
Yes.
The next item on our agenda is to consider complaint 1-2020 at a hearing in public, which is what we have ongoing now. Mr. Cinto, we didn't check whether I or whoever have a meeting on October. Oh, there's Jim now. On October, today's date, October, today's the 5th, and he does have a meeting at 7:30. I think personally it would be improper for us to have a meeting and expect him to respond to this serious matter, but yet do his duties as a member of the town legislature, the town council. So I'm going to make a motion, if I may, that we adjourn this meeting to a date certain, which we can discuss at some point, that may allow us to have a hearing in person as opposed to Zoom, but spend any further discussion of this matter this evening. And could I have a second for that?
Second.
Now it's open for discussion. I've made the motion. I basically said why I think we should. Any thoughts?
Oh, yeah.
The only thought that I had, Tom, was I know that we would all prefer to have an in-person session. I presume that if we get to that point a month from now, we'll have to make a determination on whether we proceed by Zoom or, again, delay for purposes of an in-person session.
If we were to postpone this, if I may respond, I agree with you, John. The town council meeting for the month of November, if I am not mistaken, is scheduled for Thursday, the 5th, not a Monday. Can anybody confirm that? Jeff,
That's good.
we're going to look at it? Jeff?
Yes, that's confirmed.
Okay. So if we postpone it to sometime in November, we would not want to do it on the 5th, that Thursday. I think also it would be poor to do it the week of the 26th, which is Thanksgiving week. Lots of people have plans. So that would give us, if we go to November, which would give us a full 30 days or a full month, it would be sometime between the 5th. I would not think the 6th, a Friday night, would be something we would like to deal with. So sometime during the week of the Monday being the 9th or Monday the 16th might be appropriate, depending upon schedules and ability to do things. And I agree with what everyone said, and I know that I called Dan Shopik, and he was the one who indicated to me that a week or 10 days ago that we weren't going to be able to have an in-person meeting in October 1st. Gosh knows what's going to happen November, and we can try and do it a week in advance to see if in-person is going to happen. We may not be able to do it, quite frankly, and I think that as November 1st rolls around, we're going to know pretty quickly whether we're going to see it either in November or in December or whenever, and then we can make a decision. I don't think it's reasonable to ask Mr. D'Onofrio and Mr. Cinto to sort of hang on and be on 24-hour notice. That can be very difficult. to do. And the complainant is not here. I spoke to him and indicated to him that we may be putting this off for a bit.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
The complainant is watching as an attendee. If you'd like to meet or
No,
bring.
that's all right. If he'd like to chip in, Mr. D'Onofrio is here representing the respondent. Certainly, Mr. White can chip in with his thoughts on it. When I talked to him, I said he'd be able to. So, Mr. White, do you have any thoughts on this that you'd like to share with us?
No, I mean, I think I expressed my concerns when we talked on the phone. It seems like you and the Ethics Commission are interested in having this in person. I'd just like to point out that our town council passed a budget by Zoom. Our Board of Education passed their budget by Zoom. Our Board of Finance set the mill rate by Zoom. And in fact, the redistricting committee held their meeting. The meeting that my complaint is about was held in Zoom. I have no problem meeting in person. If that's what the committee wants, I can meet this evening. I can meet next week. I can meet whenever. I would like to point out that every time this is postponed, I still feel an obligation to prepare for the meeting because I don't know if it's actually going to be postponed until the committee actually votes. Those are my only comments.
John, you're the litigator in our group. Am I correct that there are no trials, whether criminal or civil, ongoing right now?
Not yet.
Is there
Nothing in person.
any prognostication as to when this might happen, or is it
Well,
ever? Yes.
I keep my ear to the ground, obviously, for the criminal matters because those are the ones I'm involved in. And the word is that they want to try to get jury trials going in November. Court trials have not even started. And I'm not even sure they have a framework yet to how to conduct a trial. Court trials are a little bit easier, obviously, but trying to assemble a jury is that much more complicated. But they've talked about November being a time when they would like to see trials begin again. I'm concerned that that's not really going to happen because of some of the recent surges in cases and COVID cases, not criminal cases. And I don't know whether that's a realistic timeline or an ambitious one.
I'm wondering, based upon what you said, would it be prudent for us to have a meeting, the commission, with an agenda of just trying to figure out a date? Would it be prudent for us to pick a date at the end of October, let's say, towards the end of October? Hopefully we can read the tea leaves then and then pick a date to either go forward with this as a Zoom or postpone it even further. I don't know. Andrew, what do you think of that?
I don't see why, since we're having a public hearing now, we don't pick a date now. I mean, I think for both Mr. White's benefit and Mr. Cinto's benefit, having some certainty as opposed to, postponing a date until sometime in October when we may or may not pick a date. I mean, we can just pick a date now, and if it's not appropriate to meet then, we can do something similar then, but I would prefer rather leave it open-ended now.
This is Charlie, and I have to say I agree with that. I mean, I think at the outset of this, we were all sort of thinking this was a day-by-day scenario, week by week, but, barring some kind of development that we can all hope for, this looks like kind of a long haul here. So I agree that having a date would probably, that we were pretty certain to meet, would probably be a good thing.
Jeff, how does that sound to you?
That's fine. I certainly understand the commission's predicament, and Mr. Cinto, while he would prefer to have it in person, and I think everyone else on this meeting would prefer to have it in person, we all understand that we're speculating about when that might be possible. So, picking a date sometime in November and going forward at that point, I think is reasonable.
Okay. The second week begins Monday, the 9th. The third week of November begins Monday, the 16th. Any particular desire for the second or third week?
Either's fine with me, Tom.
Both are fine with me.
Andrew?
No, the others are fine with me too.
Larry?
Both are fine with me also.
Mr. White?
Both are fine.
Are they good? Jeff, they're good, I suspect.
I have days available both of those weeks.
Okay. This will be in the evening, of course. Is there particular days that are no good for you, Jeff?
Yeah, I do a lot of municipal work, so I have evening meetings on the 9th and 10th, but I'm free the evenings of the 11th and 12th, and I'm free the evenings of the 17th and 18th.
I'm sorry, I'm not clear on Mr. D'Onofrio's role.
I'm the
Are
attorney
you a
rep.
town attorney?
He is the attorney for Mr. Cinto. Mr. White, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce you to. Apologies.
17th or 18th are good for me.
I like the 17th. Just on the off chance that it may run longer, we could put it in for the 18th as well. If it did run over, I don't want to speculate on why it would or wouldn't, but it seems to me that might be the best way to go. And block the 17th out, and as long as we're doing it with Zoom, we can do it, in our pajamas. I hate to say that, but we could, under doctor's orders, whatever the case may be. So would someone like to make a motion to continue this meeting to the 17th of November at 7 o'clock?
I move that we move the hearing. I don't remember the case number, but I move that we move the hearing to November 17th at 7 o'clock.
It's case number 1-2020, 1-2020. Is there a second for that motion?
I'll second that.
Any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None? So it's unanimous. We will continue this hearing till the 17th of November at 7 o'clock. And I believe that everybody who's planning to be there on the 17th, to the best of their ability, will keep the evening of the 18th also clear in case it runs long. That fair?
Yes, thank
Yes.
you.
Mr. White, is that good for you? I don't see your sound. There you are. Okay.
I have no problem with that date other than
All
a
right.
second,
Jim?
third postponement.
Jim, is that good for you? Because you have schedules also. Can't hear you, Jim. There we
Sorry,
go.
no, I said I'll make it work.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no further business before the commission, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn until November 17th at 7 o'clock via Zoom.
I move that we adjourn.
Or otherwise. But
And John, you second?
Yes.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? No, opposition is unanimous that we are adjourned. And thank you all for being here this evening.
Thanks,
Thank you all.
folks.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bill Chin.